Microscopes and Imaging Solutions Partner, Digital Marketing Solution Partner, Chloris Digital. We would like to thank Academic Institution Partner, Sona College of Technology, Banking Solution Partner, Yes Bank. Official e-magazine partner is industry4.com. That's www.industry4.com, industry4.com. We are now quickly breaking into the visual interlude of GMCV 2030 Microscopes and Imaging Solutions Partner Leica Microsystems. Thank you so much for being part of GMCV 2030. It's now time for the visual interlude of GMCV 2030 Microscopes and Imaging Solution Partner Leica Microsystems. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you if you could please be seated.
Thank you so much. I now call upon Mr. P.S. Devaraj to give a memento, Secretary Codicea, to give a memento to Mr. Sunny Sharma from Leica Microsystems.
Requesting Mr. Sunny Sharma if you could please come forward on the stage to share a small memento from him. We once again like to thank Leica Microscopes and Imaging Solutions Partner GMCV 2030 for being part of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause as we kickstart. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are very, very happy to welcome among our midst our chief guest, Dr. Udayan Malhotra. He's the CEO and Managing Director of Dynamatic Technologies Limited, Chairman Ellsworth, Germany, and Dynamic Limited, UK, National Sector Skills Council for Strategic Manufacturing, National Institute of Design, Amravati. He's also been the former chairman of Young Presidents Organization, India and South Asian region. Now, he's also served on the Board of Governors in IIT Kanpur and also chaired the CI National Committee on Design and Technology. And we had requested him to come forward, and we'd asked the doctor to talk about vibrant and inspirational address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage our chief guest, Dr. Udayan Malhotra. A big round of applause, a big Coimbatore welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real privilege for me to be here today. Firstly, I'm an entrepreneur, and for me, it's an extraordinary opportunity to be in the city of entrepreneurship. My journey as an entrepreneur wouldn't have begun if it wasn't for Coimbatore. When I was a young 20-year-old entrepreneur making hydraulic gear pumps, it was a very tough period of life because we had losses, we had banks that would not finance us. And I was really fortunate to find really visionary entrepreneurs in this city who supported me through credit. I was just a 20-year-old young boy in a company called Dynamatic Hydraulics Limited. And so it's a great opportunity for me to come back here and today to be speaking to this august audience. So I'd just like to talk about five words that I think are really important and drive a good business. The first is empathy. So I'll just give you an idea of how we took that little hydraulic gear pump business and made it into the world's largest hydraulic gear pump maker. So Dynamatic Hydraulics, we are the world's largest hydraulic gear pump maker today. Every third agricultural tractor that's produced anywhere on the planet is factory fitted with a Dynamatic gear pump. And we are manufacturing in India, we are manufacturing in UK, we are manufacturing in North America. But what is really interesting is the castings that go into all these pumps come from Coimbatore even today. And, again, I have to, the late Mr. Jagannathan, V. Rajendran, I owe a debt of gratitude to these two gentlemen. So let me now explore the word empathy. How did we become the world's largest producer? First, we had to become the largest producer in India. And the largest customer in India was Mahindra and Mahindra. So when I was young, Mahindra owned our largest competitor. They owned a company called Vickers Perry, which also made hydraulic pumps. And in Kandivli in Bombay, they shared a common wall. So they used us as a second source. Their first source was their in-house supplier, which was a joint venture between them and Vickers Perry in the United States. So they used to buy 80% of their hydraulic pumps from Vickers and 20% from us. They used to make 2,000 tractors every month at that time. And so they used to buy 400 pumps. We used to make about 1,000 pumps a month, so they were our largest customer. And it was impossible to grow this business. But what was very interesting was while we were very keen on growing our business, the typical thing is the supplier next door, their own supplier, who had an entitlement to, in Hindi, it's called haq. It's my haq, my entitlement to sell 80% to my parent company. They were always late. And at the end of every month, Mahindra and Mahindra would have trouble delivering or assembling their tractors. Now, the beauty was this was a decision taken at the very top of the company. The managing director of Mahindra's was also the chairman of Vickers. I was dealing as a young guy with all the operative management that were tasked with actually delivering these tractors. So what we started doing was empathizing with their challenge and their problem. We used to deliver 400 pumps, which was what we were supposed to deliver every month. And at the end of the month, we used to have a van parked right outside their gate from around the 26th, 27th of the month with another 200 pumps. And incredibly, every month, they run out of pumps from Vickers and they would invert our pumps. So our 400 became 600, informally. Then it got formalized. Then we started adding more. So 600 plus another 200, 300 in a van outside. And at some stage, we reached this tipping point where Vickers went down to 600 or 700 pumps and they went out of business. They stopped producing these hydraulic pumps. So what is really important is how you empathize with something that a customer needs and you deliver a solution. This was very simple. As we became, after that, the largest producer in India, we became the largest in Asia, we ran up against a more formidable competitor called Bosch. And for many years, for about 10 years, we were number 2 and they were number 1, till about 3 years ago. And here again, there was a very interesting story. We were making hydraulic pumps. They were making hydraulic pumps. We had the same customer base. And the tractor industry started moving up from 3,000 PSI, pounds per square inch pressure, to 4,000 PSI as they started adding power steering and they required more compact hydraulics. So typically when you have a higher burst strength requirement, you add mass. So their pumps became bigger and we looked at it. But now the empathy here was understanding what the customer wanted. They wanted more, but they didn't want to pay more for it. It's a very fiercely competitive industry, the tractor industry. So we went back and looked at it from an engineering point of view. And there was no way you could cost it out and still give them that without adding mass. And so we looked at it and we said, why are we even wedded to the same material? We looked at the aluminum housing that we used. And of course, both of us had similar expansions of the mass. We added a certain amount of alloying additives, largely copper, where we were able to increase the elongation and tensile strength of the metal. And lo and behold, our P4000 pump uses less material than our P3000 pump. And suddenly we had a strategic cost and size advantage over our largest customer. Now we would never have ever thought of that if we weren't starting with the word empathy. The customer wanted more, but was not willing to pay more. And suddenly we tipped past Bosch and became the world's largest hydraulic pump maker. The second word I'd like to talk about today is passion. What is really truly the heart of every entrepreneur. So when we grew from this tiny loss-making hydraulic business into a business that was growing and was generating cash, we developed hydraulic pumps for our battle tanks, and we started partnering with the DRDO, and there was a development around 25 years ago of a small UAV called the Lakshya, which was being developed by the ADE. This is a really interesting thing because my childhood hobby from the age of 7 was building aeroplanes. And I was a modeler. And this became an opportunity for us to start on. So we, at the back of this hydraulic pump plant, in a very small garage, started what became Dynamatic Aerospace. And if, Ramesh, you can play a small video, I have a short 3-minute video, and I'll come back to you after that. Please. The volume, Ramesh? So that's Bangalore, and that's us in Pina. So we built 1/6 of the Sukhoi airframe. We built the main fuselage of the Tejas fighter. Every single Airbus produced, please go on. Every single Airbus produced in the world has flap rack beams made by Dynamatic Technology. We are sole supplier to Airbus. Every Boeing, Chinook and P-8 military aircraft were sole producers of product for. We produce these parts in United Kingdom and we assemble them in India, and we deliver them across the world. We are also the producers of the world's largest selling airframe, the airframe of the world's largest selling helicopter, the Bell 407, again as a sole supplier. That's the Chinook manufacturing line. So this started with Dr. Raja Ramana and Dr. Kalam, and the true privilege of being a young entrepreneur and being able to work with people who really exemplified what is good in India made this journey exceptional. This is on the Airbus assembly line with the Indian Prime Minister. And he's seeing how every Airbus is partly made in India because of the flap rack beams that are made by us. So that's the British Prime Minister in our assembly line. Because again, as I said, these have become very unique national programs that are global sole supply, single source to the world's best aircraft makers. All our detailed parts are made in the United Kingdom and all our assemblies are done in India. So which brings me to the third word I wanted to talk about, which was, it's actually two words, but you link them as one. It is design thinking. It's not just using the word design to define a product. It is to define everything that we do. It's to define the way we serve our customers, the way we organize ourselves, the way we think economically and technically and aesthetically. And the entire example of what makes this successful is something to do with design thinking. What we realized was to grow from a small aerospace manufacturer in India, we had to be different. So we realized that India has some incredible cost advantages when it comes to labor. But we have huge imposts on us with the highest costs of interest in the world. So if it's capital intensive, as part of our design, we place it in Dynamatic UK, where we have the lowest cost of capital. In fact, a lot of people ask me, why would an entrepreneur from India come and set up plants in Germany and UK, which are high-cost economies? They're high cost only if you think of labor. We don't have labor there. We have robots working there. And we have very low cost capital. We have the advantage of local supplies for raw material. And all our scrap, about 90% of the aluminum or titanium, is machined out. We briquette it and give it back to the mill. So we get the entire value of the material. Then we move the products, the parts to India. And now we play the game on the other side of the equation, which is the best value of labor cost. The best artisanal workers. We have workers from our villages who've been trained in aerospace. But these are artisans. They're children of artisans. They're great with their hands. At a time where artisanship across the world is becoming rare. And then we have the 3D engineering capability of Bangalore. So we've designed ourselves to be correct in terms of delivering value to the customer. So I'll come to the fourth word, which is gratitude, which is why I'm here. I would not have had this journey where we become the world's largest producer of hydraulic pumps, the world's largest producer of flat rack beam assemblies, if I hadn't started as a 20-year-old with friends and support from entrepreneurs in Coimbatore. And I will never, ever forget that. And I'm here 8 or 9 months ago when I spoke. We were starting on the defense corridor for India, and I talked to a lot of the members of Codicea, and I said, whatever we have learned in our journey, we will share and we'll partner and we'll train and we'll teach and we'll assist entrepreneurs who want to get into aerospace or defense with what we know. And a lot of people ask me why, and I said it's karma. At a time when I had no other opportunity, I got assistance here. I'm now 54, this is my time. And I will never forget that, and gratitude is a very important part of the journey of an entrepreneur. And with that, I will end with the last word, which is nation. So whatever we do, entrepreneurs have been never given their due space at the top of recognition in India, because they've always been seen as people making money. And almost like money making is a crime. It's not a crime. When you create wealth, you're actually adding to national wealth. And when you align your activities, and as we're going to do over here in Coimbatore with the defense corridor, and we're going to create jobs, we're going to create taxation, we're going to create industrial capability, we're going to create an ability to manufacture defense material and reduce our dependence on foreign imports. I think that is the ultimate dream for all of us. And with that, I'd like to just say thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Udit. If you could please
I'd also like to say that I timed myself and I've taken 19 minutes. Thank you.
Wow. Dr. Udit, if you could stay back on stage, we need to honor you. I request immediate past President, Mr. V. Sundaram, if you could please come forward to honor our chief guest, Dr. Udit Malhotra. This is what stories of dreams are, from a loss-making unit to a successful enterprise. This is what we're always looking at. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, let's give him a big Coimbatore welcome. Spoke from his heart, spoke with all the dynamism. This is going to be multiple number of visits for you for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Udit Malhotra, what a story. And thank you so much for joining us at GMCV 2030. We're really honored to have you as a chief guest. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on without further ado, we are moving into a visual interlude. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank Sona College of Technology. Yes, we would like to thank Sona College of Technology of being the academic institution partner at GMCV 2030.
Sona College of Technology is situated in Salem, a South Indian town not quite regarded as one of the metros. It is a part of the Sona group of institutions and also one of the fastest growing technical institutions in the region. In spite of its location in a Tier 2 town, the college has excellent facilities for research and development. Its world-class infrastructure is ideally suited for both academic and research and development activities. SONA has A-grade accreditation by NAC, and all of its eligible programs have 6-year NBA accreditation. The college has a sprawling campus with bright and airy classrooms. SONA is also a proud recipient of the AICTE CII Awards for Best Industry-Linked Technical Institution. SONA College's Green Building, the first for an educational institution in India, is awarded the highest 5-star rating by Griha. President Abdul Kalam inaugurated SONA's 36 advanced research centers during the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the SONA Group.
The R&D facilities of SONA College of Technology and innovative projects that we have undertaken in the electrical, electronics, IT, nanoscience, and technology and biotechnology. Also, I witnessed the SCT and the ISRO collaborative projects which are engaged in making subsystems and made a special BLDC motor for spacecraft mechanism and rocket fuel control mechanism and an Indo-French satellite which is set to fly in June 2010. So I would suggest for all of you, I call it SONA. SONA Pura, this place, this institution, and giving the physical connectivity, electronic connectivity, knowledge connectivity, and then economic connectivity will come. So we will call SONA complex, SONA Pura complex.
The research, what really they are targeting, mainly to keep it in indigenization of the many very, very critical technology. It will be useful for many sectors of the in the country, either the space or commercial purpose or societal applications. And I'm sure that the SONA College is going to contribute in a major way in the future India, making India, future India. They are going to make it a major way.
Very much impressed way in which they have aligned their R&D activities to the national needs, that to a mission mode needs of the nation in the Department of Space, providing all the support, whether it's providing the motors, providing a what you call nano coating, developing nano coating for their precision instruments. So this use of waste and reuse of waste, reuse of the material is a very important topic of a great concern to all our future of our people.
We can certainly promise that we'll certainly look at the benefits that we can get from SONA Engineering College in our projects and see that how it will really benefit us both ways. They also should be benefited and we also should be benefited. With that, we can work out some of those methodologies and see that we really include SONA in our bigger realm of activities.
How far you want to grow, how far you want to fly, sky is the limit. This SONA College is right there in the sky. Go up to that, above that. Way to go to that sensor, way to reach that satellite. I'm very happy it is on the sky, it is under the sea.
I was impressed by many of the research projects happening there, including the custom-built BLDC motors for ISRO, green synthesized nanomaterials for solar cells and photovoltaics, and image processing. I was so impressed that we started doing a collaborative project with SONA College for building biomedical devices where SONA is taking a lead in the medical image processing side.
Thank you so much, SONA College, for being partner to us. We continue to cherish your relationship. We now call upon Mr. Kumar, Vice President Codicea, to honor Dr. Senthil Kumar, Head of Department, SONA College of Technology.
I really liked what SONA College put as learning is a celebration. We request, Professor, if you could please come on stage to take a small memento from our end. Thank you so much for being the Academy partner at GMCV 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to welcome our guest of honor. We are very, very happy to welcome among our midst Mr. Thiago Valiappa, Sona Valiappa Group Executive Director, Sona Star Robotics and Innovation, Founder and CEO. Sona College of Technology, the Vice Chairman of Sona College of Arts and Science, Vice Chairman of Tyagaraja Polytechnic College, Vice Chairman also of Sona Sports and Entertainment Private Limited. It's a complete play factory. He's also the founder and CEO of Sona Plantation, CEO, Sona Institute of Robotics, founder and CEO. He was also the president of the PCIC, the president of EFSI. More than that, he is a regular patron of GMCV 2030. It's an honor to welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be talking to us on robotics and automation, future of manufacturing. A big welcome to our guest of honor, Mr. Thiago Valiappa. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. After so many dynamic speakers, after Mr. Dynamatic himself, I think I'm probably the 7th or 8th speaker. But it's very, very interesting because what I learned today is I take home a lot more than what I brought. So I think I'm very inspired by this. And I must say, every time I come to Coimbatore, I go back even more inspired. I used to come for the industry only on textiles. But then now we have branched into many, many different areas. And as you saw, our education institute, Sona College of Technology and Tyagaraja Polytechnic College and Sona Arts and Science has developed immensely in the last maybe 5 to 7 years, where the focus has been more to generate the gap between education and industry. There is certainly a gap, and there's a huge gap. About 4 years ago, we took up a calculated risk by saying we will go into sectorial placements. We will only want to focus on a mechanical engineer going for a mechanical posting, as well as an IT guy going for an IT, instead of everyone joining an Infosys or a Wipro. And that was a difficult situation because the first couple of years we did have a lot of difficulty. But this time I'm very proud to say that today we are probably one of the few institutions in the country, apart from the IITs, very proud to say that we have almost 100% placement in sectorial wise. So a mechanical student will go into a mechanical industry. So this is something we started, and now the future of education is changing. I think we've all spoken about employability, which can be debated between 15 to 25%, which is very alarming. We have so many institutions, and Coimbatore is a great place for institutions. If you're talking about 25% of the people are going to get employed, 75% is not going to get employed, there's something wrong with what we teach. Because the education system is 16 years or 15 years in India, and they spend 5 years or 4 years in an educational institute like Sona. And they don't get a job. So what did we really do? We started doing a lot of newer things, and now we've brought in the new avatar of us by focusing more on automation, robotics, and mechanization. So if you really see, I don't know if you like it or not, but it's a very catchy word today, RAM, robotics, automation, and mechanization. So going forward, we started a company called STAR, Sona Star. The Sona Star stands for, S stands for scientific, T stands for technology, A stands for automation, and R stands for research and robotics. So Sona Star is a bridge which would actually bring in a huge amount of connectivity between education and industry. So today we have people retiring at the age of 58 or 60 or 63, but then they're only tired, they're not retired. So basically we would love to take people with the experience from a company like Bosch, Festo, Toyota, and bring them onto board and create this big panel of very, very strong experts who can actually handhold a 20-year-old from a college like ours. So this would be a way forward which we think can generate jobs, generate much higher jobs than a mechanical engineering today. If you really look at, I'm just again going back to the education system, is the first person to get into your college because of the cutoff system is very high and mechanical first. But then it's a reverse pyramid when you go into a job. He gets the least amount of salaries compared to an IT or EEE or ECE or any of them. So this is a certain cause again. So if you really want to promote very, very high-end growth, we really need to look at creating something where our students can actually be involved in much larger perspective of growth. So basically, Sona is we say learning is a celebration as a student, but celebrating your learning is the Sona 10. So celebrating what you've learned at Sona is going to be what we're really looking at, because we started looking at the happiness index like most companies are started looking today. And then we certainly are concerned that the student needs to be happy in the future. Our generation of experience in education and industry, we are almost 100 years old today, focused on bridging the gap I already mentioned, scientific technology, automation and robotics, creating a better tomorrow with enabling today's skills, and I've already mentioned to you about the RAM. It all started, I think we are very proud that our chairman is one of the person who signed the agreement with Texas Instruments and way back in 1984, was the birth of the IT industry in the country. And so the Texas Instruments started developing businesses, which in 1984, Sona Towers in Bangalore was the first IT company, and then VSNL and Cisco and Andiamo, and even someone mentioned Huawei Technologies, all were incubated by our chairman. And today, the growth of the IT industry, everyone knows today. And Sona College of Technology today and Sona group of colleges, we have 10,000 students. So every year, 10,000 students we'll have to place. So that is a big challenge for us, and we are focusing on a lot of things. But the topic given to me today is robotics and automation in the shop floor. I would like to use this opportunity to talk about a little macro, because the shop floor, I think a lot of interest has already been given today. I was on the program today. There's a lot of focus being given on the shop floor industry. But then what India really needs is looking at the demand what India has got. Today, I'm not sure if you can see that very clearly, but I would just run through that in a thing. Because today, if you really see the industries which really need automation and robotics, because India needs to grow. If you talk about our, the areas of, if you talk about the areas where India is actually supposed to grow, it's not growing. I think everybody spoke about growth, but the agricultural sector is growing at 2 to 3%, which is where we really need to move. And I think everybody spoke about the SME sector. If you look at the SME sector in aerospace in England, I think it's about 80 to 85% is SME. Today, I'm not sure, probably within 7 to 10% or maybe 15% is the SME sector in India in the aerospace. So there's something wrong if you're looking at 20,000 or 30,000 SME companies and you're looking at maybe 15 or 20 large companies who are growing. So today, the ease of doing business is one thing which the present government has done a lot of work, but I think the associations like the Codesias, the Kasias in Bangalore, FKCCI, BCIC, CII, all of us really need to put our hands together and try and see, get together and see how we can really build on Make in India. Because now what is happening is there are 4,500, I think Udyan may be correcting me, there are 4,500 vendors who work with HAL, but then I think the growth of them is a question mark because of lack of various reasons, including payments and including the contracts and things like that. So how does a young budding person coming out of a college get a contract with HAL today? So it's probably impossible, or probably lucky if you get one. So I think that is where really we need to look at, because now what is happening is the businesses are there, but there is a lot of roadblocks. I think these roadblocks are the ones what we really need to focus on. Otherwise, the growth, I think Mr. Narayan mentioned it earlier, 7% or 8%, probably we should look at 15%, because when you're looking at a turnover of millions of crores, 5% or 7% is very less. But that is China. China cannot grow more than 7 or 8%, but India can certainly grow more than 15% if we get our act together. And I think associations like ours in various parts of important cities like Coimbatore, Bangalore, Pune, probably Bombay and elsewhere to get together and work on this, because I think how do you enable business happen? Now, if you really see the growth of some of the sectors, specifically, the robotics industry, why isn't it supposed to be that easy to grow? Because there is a lot of issues. What we are focusing right now is on a concept called STEMS, S-T-E-M-S. So S stands for, again, speed, T stands for time, E stands for efficiency, M stands for money, and S stands for safety. So the STEMS, what we are focusing, if you do not create value in all these 5 areas, you do not succeed. You will only be doing a value addition which is not that big enough. If you look at a postman, 15, 20 years ago we used to see a postman. Today we don't see a postman. That job is just gone. Today with the bots coming out, tomorrow will you find a receptionist? It's a question mark. So there is a lot of growth in the areas of technology. This is taking over jobs. But do we really need to look at such kind of low-end jobs? Or can we take out the speed breakers and create a kind of a system where we can grow at 15%? Because unless that happens, we will not be getting jobs, and this will become a kind of a cyclic issue of India growing. And just take an example of a septic tank, which all of us know. Sometimes a septic tank cleaner goes in and never comes out. He is dead. So do we really need to have a human being do that? Can we not create robots to do that? So that is where I think robot is to look at, because that is where the society. And today if you see, 10 years ago, elephants used to carry a lot. Today elephants are banned. In 10 more years, maybe cows will be banned. So now, why is a human carrying a load on the back? We have still, that is very, very present in APMC yards. Can we not bring in robotics and automation in that place where hundreds of lorries can be unloaded and loaded every day with robots? I think this is where the opportunity with the true India can be, because you will not only be bringing in automation and robotics, but you will be bringing it in the most required sectors of India, and that is the backward India today. I'm from Bangalore, and I think many speakers are from Bangalore today. God help the man if he gets a heart attack at 5:30 in the evening, because you never know what is going to happen to him. Because this is what the traffic in Bangalore is, and the ambulance will never move. And if you pray to God, probably the new God is a drone getting you medicines at 5:30 with a doctor giving you this drone which will land in your house probably in about 10 minutes' time. So warehousing and supply chain, I think this area is again a very, very good area, which a 24/7 robot. I was happy to visit one of the Bosch warehouses in Karlsruhe. That's about 100 miles from Frankfurt, and the warehouse was about 300,000 square feet, and there were 30 people working. Everything was automated. Everything was barcoded, or some system was there. And the 7 floors of warehouses, there's only 30 people working, and it is all embedded. This is about 2 years ago when I went. So this is where the opportunity is to create knowledge-based people who can work on this kind of space. The video. Is playing. The farm sector is very important for us, and this is what you can bring in automation in the farm sector. So if you really look at the farm sector again, with our less water usage, why are we irrigating water, especially plantations, which we also have? Why don't we inject water onto the ground so that you can save a lot of water? So I think it's automation, mechanization, and robotics which will really get us through. As far as our focus is concerned, when you focus on these kind of areas, when you saw the solar vehicle moving inside the farms, you probably need millions of solar vehicles. So that will give you opportunity on the solar growth. And you'll probably have, instead of workers, which may not exist in 15, 20 years or 50 years, you would have operators. So you'll have people operating machines. So I think what really we need to look forward is bringing in technology. But actually, I think all of us are stuck with technology today. When you come to a traffic jam like this, when you are covered, Salem to Bangalore, almost you cover it. And when you reach Bangalore, because of the toll gates, you're stuck. So the toll gate is something that can be automated. And this, again, needs a sea change in the terms the government is looking at toll gates. You cannot do 150 kilometers in 1.5 hours and then stuck for half an hour. Why do you pay the toll gate if you're stuck for half an hour or 40 minutes? So I think these kind of, how expensive is the traffic jam? I mean, there are millions of people stuck every day in a traffic jam, and you're fighting for salary hikes. So if you really calculate a person's time that you're stuck, so this is where the automation and robotics can really work. And if you see, this is very, very interesting, which I'm happy that our team from Sona Mechatronics department was able to give in. This is the growth of the 30 top technologies for the next decade. And if you see, robotics is, I think, the second or the third highest, 46%, 31% and 46% immersive media. And if you see, VR is the highest, being almost 86%. So I think the growth areas are going to be technology-based, and if institutions do not really, focus on technology, the growth of placements or growth of jobs are always going to be a question mark, and we will not be doing the right thing for the future generation. So I think these are all, big data analytics is one, and if you look at technology, blockchain technology, if you bring in, that's again a very big opportunity for manufacturing. And every time you're talking about any of this growing, and you're talking about millions, in millions, you're not talking about thousands. So that would give us opportunity for manufacturing to grow in a very big way. And most of this would be interlinked with IoT, with various embedded systems, which is where I think the growth can really be universal and not only thing. So I think when I started saying the mechanical is the least, by doing this you can make it the most, because everything will become, the engine driver will become mechanical, and the supporters will be the technology. And IT, instead of information technology, will be innovative technology. So I think that is where I think we are trying to coin ourselves at Sona Education 4.0. And we are happy that we are working on one of the labs which can actually be movable and will be available for colleges, which will be a movable lab, very high-end robotic lab with one of the top companies. I may not be able to tell you that now, but probably we'll be launching it very soon. And that would be a very, very innovative lab. So this is, again, shared technology. I think shared technology is something that, Sona Star will also be working on, because technology is very expensive and it's very fast. So if you, like a 3D printer, if you buy today, within 6 months, it's outdated. So why would you want to invest in a 3D printer? Why don't you get in a model where the JCBs and Hitachis of the world have built India today, the roads? Why don't you have a sharing technology? I think that is another big opportunity. If you bring in CapEx into OpEx, you're looking at the highest interest rates of 11 or 12%, where a SME will never be able to afford on a regular basis and grow as much as 15%. So I think using today's technology and creating tomorrow's engineers, you grow, I grow, and we grow. I think all of us should grow. And this is what we felt that we should project. Using technology, using the presence of education, there's a lot that can be done, and build a tomorrow, a brighter India and a stronger India. And the focus should be is to generate more jobs. And with this, I think I've taken 1 minute longer. So I would like to thank the organizers and congratulate you of completing 50 years. And I'm happy that organizations like this and the Employers Federation of Southern India, which I was president 2 years ago, is completing 100 years. So I must congratulate each one of you and the excellent work that you've been doing. And thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very, very much. I request Mr. Tyago Vallabhat, if you can stay back on stage. We want to honor you. I invite the past president, Mr. P.N. Balasubramanian, if you could please come forward to honor Tyago Vallabhat. Robotics is always exciting, and there's always so much of synergies to look for, from blockchains to IoT. He covered it all. Thank you once again for being part of GMCV 2030. There's a garland, a shawl, and a memento. Right. It's time to give him a memento, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being a guest of honor at GMCV 2030. Give big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I request you? Thank you so much for joining us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away.
Sir, from Odisha, Mr. Tyago
Mr. Ramamurthy has a little announcement.
just a small announcement with you. From Odisha side, we have got an MOU with all the colleges in and around our district also. And being you're so forward thinking, I think you can have an MOU with Odisha so that the knowledge sharing platform as well as the people's also training will be more on us. So we'll be allowed to have a MOU with you.
Sure, we'll love to sign right now.
Wow. In the history of GMCV 2030, we've signed a deal already. Can we have a big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen? Nice initiative from the President of Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are moving in.
Just to remind Mr. Tyago, there's yet another announcement from our side, from Texas Venture. Last time when you were on stage, you reminded us about this being social. We are live streaming you, and you are very much live for the 20 minutes that you were on stage. Thank you so much.
And we're going live on texasventures.us. That's very, very quickly, a quick word. We would like to thank all our association partners, supporting partners, 69 of them. First time we've got such a wonderful support. Without further ado, we would like to go down to the visual interlude of one of our partners. That's a digital marketing solution partner, Chloris Digital. Thank you so much for being part of us.
We all know these companies: Tata Group, Asian Paint, HUL, JSW, Godrej. These companies are leaders in what they do. Why do you think that is? Is it their product, their pricing, their customer service, or marketing? As business leaders, you are the best judge of your product and its pricing. But in an era of digital transformation, these factors alone does not ensure success. We are here to help you revolutionize your marketing efforts and customer service to outrun your competition, not just regionally, but globally too. But why should you go digital? Did you know 94% of customers in the B2B market research online before they ever buy a product? 82% of manufacturing companies who invested in digital marketing have reported increased success within 1 year. Across industries, digital marketing has increased sales from existing customers by up to 15%. So, how do we start? The first step in building an online presence is to have a good website. Do you have one? If you don't have a website, then you're probably using an online catalog site where you're one among the million subscribers they have. This is the most inefficient way to promote your product. There are a few scenarios in a business. Let us consider the first scenario. You are a compressor manufacturer and have listed your product in an online catalog. When a buyer comes in for a compressor, what is a guarantee that they will see your product? Your product may appear at the bottom of the list, and today, no one has the patience to see all the products. Let us take the next scenario. Imagine that you are a buyer who wants to buy a compressor. You will be seeing 1,000 suppliers who will offer you the same product that you want. How do you decide which one is offering the right product that you want at the price that you want to pay? Now, what if you have a website? Do you wonder why you are not getting any inquiries? It is a common mistake 90% of the businesses make. By putting a web page and listing your products is like designing a beautiful brochure. By not making it visible to a potential client is like keeping the brochure in your locker. A well-designed and search engine optimized website can help you solve this problem. Once you have designed a good website, you can start promoting it through various social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook or YouTube. Digital marketing will help you grow your business in the right direction, and Claris can show you how. Claris Digital offers a full suite of contemporary marketing services to help the world's leading brands drive marketing performance by increasing brand equity, generating a steady flow of traffic, and thereby your return on investment. We will support you to maintain your social media pages, which will help you in winning more customer engagement and sales. Claris Digital is your one-stop solution for search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media optimization and marketing, web development, online marketing and brand building.
Hi, I am Nagan, CEO, Storewell Coimbatore. I am into manufacturing storage racks for pharmacy, department store and warehouse. I have been seeking Claris Digital's digital marketing solution for 1 month now. They revamped my website and Facebook page. Now I get various inquiries and referrals from various parts of India. Thank you Claris Digitals for showing me the change in my business. I look forward to work with Claris Digitals for a long time and grow my business much bigger.
Thank you so much.
In 2019, Claris Digital would like to introduce our multilingual chatbot service. We call him Toby. Toby can understand your language and answer your questions in your native language. You can type your queries no matter which language you know, and Toby will send your message to the recipient in the language that they understand. Toby can also help you market your product, close a sale, or even help you with a service request without you having to invest time and money in training a support executive. Let us see how. This opens your door to a national and international level marketing opportunity. Toby can be implemented in your website and will always be ready to chat with new clients in their native language and answer their queries. This will save time, money and frustration for customers, staffs and yourself. Get in touch with Claris Digital at Hall D, stall number 4 today, and we will help you grow your business. Please feel free to visit our website www.claris.com or call us at 9995029438 for any further details. Thanks to Intech 2019 for this opportunity, and we look forward to the growth of India's engineering industry.
Thank you so much, Claris Digital, for being our digital marketing solution partner. I now call upon Mr. C. Muthuswamy, past President, Codicea, to present a memento to Mr. T.K. Velayudham of Claris Digital. Mr. T.K. Velayudham. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Once again, we'd like to thank Claris Digital for being part of GMCV 2030.
It's time right now to invite our guest of honor for today's GMCV 2030, Mr. Sunil Bangalore, President and CEO, Sycorex Hinduja Group Company.
He's also the former Director of Innovation Technology Program at IBM Corporation Asia Pacific Region, Growth Market Innovation Strategy, past Program Director. He was also the past Strategy Leader, India Software Labs, former General Manager at Intel in Private Limited as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sunil Banglo, we will be talking to us about cyber security, a vital component in smart manufacturing. Let's welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Sunil Banglo, on stage.
Good evening, everyone. I think after, as someone said, when you become the last speaker of the day for a guest of honor, it's a big challenge. I think one of the major challenges that our industry is facing is the very critical component of security, and I happen to be the last guy on this system that is so important. So thanks for inviting me for this conversation with all of you and trying to make an attempt in order to share how critical it is for us to be living peacefully and feeling secure in this world of digital world economy. I think one of the first things that I realized when I was walking in is we'll leave our wallets here in case if it's stolen. I don't think we'll feel that bad. But if our mobile device is stolen, I think we'll be very frantic about it. How did we transform from what we used to protect so well as our wallet, which was so rich, which had so much of currency, which was so much in importance, to now replace that with a mobile phone. In fact, I was in an airport, somebody dropped his phone, and he had a wallet on the table. He left the wallet on the table, ran after the phone. Very interesting phenomena, which I don't think we would have ever observed 20 years back, 10 years back. People have started to look at one very important thing. How do I protect my valuable thing? And needless to say, in all the conversations that we are hearing today and I've been hearing for so long, very interesting component is, what is valuable to you? What is most important thing that you believe in the modern digitization of this universe we are trying to protect? I don't think it's anywhere it's about our physical assets. It's nothing more than anything but what we call as an information data. That 8-byte data that you think if you don't protect, I think it's going to be the most vulnerable aspect of your business. Yes, it sounds very, very challenging to accept something which is so abstract, which is so much inherent, built into various technology platforms, to start believing it can ruin or make my business. How many of you here haven't seen that when somebody approaches you to say, fill in this form for me on a digital environment, the first question comes into your mind is my information being exposed? I was talking to somebody yesterday in the booth. We have a booth in the D Hall, D02. I was talking to somebody and I asked him, can I get your business card? He gave me his business card. Then I asked him, can I get your contact details beyond this? He said, no, everything is on it. Then I said, is there a way I can reach you any other number? He gave me his mobile number. If I had spent another 3 minutes, and if I were to be a smart guy, I would have got his date of birth, I would have got his address. Guess what? I would have made him non-existent in this digital world. Very important for me is, how do I really build that level of business resiliency in the world that is changing so fast, so much beyond what we could comprehend, so much what we can get into, which is, as someone said, the pace of technology, I don't think we can catch up. But the common sense that the human mankind has been protecting its valuables for last, God knows, 5,000 plus years, we need to adapt that. And how do we adapt that is what I'm going to make an attempt here for next few minutes to share. Is it relevant? Is it important? And more so, how do you start in that journey? I am very positive there are a lot of people in this audience who believe I have nothing to protect. In fact, yesterday again I was at the booth. We tried to snatch people into our booth because it was all very exorbitantly, all the manufacturing sides, everybody talking about manufacturing. We were on tiny 9 square meters there called cybersecurity company. We had probably a footfall of less than 2% in that hall. I am pretty sure Probably tomorrow it will be more. Hopefully you guys will realize after I speak. But very important is, a lot of people have this very strong myth of, it doesn't belong to me. It's not my cup of tea. I don't understand what cyber is. In fact, I was just talking at a convocation a couple of weeks back, and I said, can anybody in the audience, it was all young, vibrant students who are all graduating, who are all thinking they had conquered the universe by graduating and getting a qualification degree. I asked the audience, can anybody qualify the term cyber? And it was a graduation ceremony of engineering college. I don't think I got an answer that I was looking for. How many of we understand what is the meaning of cyber? It's a culture of information technology. I was very surprised how the English dictionary qualifies the word cyber. It's the culture and characteristics of information technology. Do we even understand how to protect that culture? We make so much attempt in our life to protect our culture, our religion, our aesthetics, our important aspects of our whatever ancestral property, ancestral value system. But do we even have a smallest inclination to say and be very focused in protecting that culture of information technology that we have made it as such an integral, essential component of our lifestyle today? How many of us really believe that I can go to sleep tonight without being hacked, without having any pilferage on my industrial data? How many of us can sleep very confidently today saying nothing is going to go bad tomorrow morning in my shop floor? It's going to be extremely important as we develop this digital transformation journey and as we start to move on into what we call as the modernization to its best possible extent. The fundamental thing is, can we protect what is valuable to us? Do we have the ability to protect that what we think in our business line is valuable to me? Somebody may say, my protection aspect is my design. Somebody may say, no, it's my sales orders, it's my inventory, it's my supply chain information. Doesn't matter. I don't think anybody is here authorized to qualify what is valuable to you but for yourself. What is most valuable thing for me in my business? Do I have the ability in my organization to protect that valuable asset? And one of the things that I felt when I was trying to come here for a brief conversation with you, and as probably you might have heard, I used to be part of some of the very interesting and very capable technology companies in the world like Bell Labs, Intel, IBM, and now with the SecureX, which is very innovating. I was just wondering, how do I start to get the attention of this, whatever audience we have today, to start looking at what is the right first step to do? Very important is, doesn't matter whether your journey is starting to Himalayas or whether you're doing a journey to any Timbuktu. It starts with a single step. And do we know what is that single step that we need to have in this journey of digital transformation? And am I really equipped to embark on that journey? So when I was doing some amount of analysis on, I'm going to address an audience, a esteemed audience of yourself being very, very successful, very accomplished entrepreneurs, embarking on a journey of growth, embarking on, as Mr. M.K. Narayanan said, or the few distinguished speakers said, everyone is after growth. Everyone is after growth, but very few people in this world have realized the real meaning of growth, which is sustenance. If you do not have a sustainable growth, growth is not growth. And one of the very fundamental characteristics of a digital business environment to make yourself embark on a sustainable growth path with all your ambitious geographical expansions, product expansions, your portfolio expansion is, can you protect your valuable information? And look what I have got here. In fact, I was very pleasantly surprised when I did this with my friend Google, what's going to be my discussion topic of how critical and how essential cyber protection, cyber security paradigm is going to be for this audience and this industry. I felt extremely disturbed. To be really honest, I was hoping that manufacturing with all the levels of significant amount of physical and all the security standards that are adapted, probably manufacturing industry is pretty much insulated from at least most of these things. But I was very surprised to see manufacturing is the second most attacked sector in the entire cyber universe today. Can we believe it? And we are here, and I'm not definitely disrespecting any of your orientation. I had the least footfall in my booth yesterday, and probably today as well. How do we really address this? What are we trying to do as a very ambitious, as a very focused entrepreneurs to build that business resiliency? How can I really go and secure my future? How can I really build significant amount of confidence, comfort, and more than anything else, seamless integration, which is what, as everyone talks about, globalization, integration, Industry 4.0, automation. There are a lot of these nice, interesting English jargons being thrown at us, but how many of us really understand what are the building blocks of this? How do we know that the so-called information technology, which has emerged to be like an oxygen to us, which is such an essential ingredient of our day-to-day business paradigm, how do we know that we can build a successful enterprise with protecting our valuables? So what I thought was very critical aspect that I thought we need to understand as we embark on this journey of digital transformation is understanding where are our issues, what are typical target vectors, what are typical target dimensions that I need to be aware of. Unless you know where somebody can come in and poach your valuables, it's very hard to protect it. Like I have a brother. My parents have two boys. When we were growing up in Bangalore, and my last name is Bangalore, of course, but when I was growing up in Bangalore, my dad would say, guys, go secure the house. We would go lock the front door. We would go lock the back door. Trust me, we would have the best sleep of our lives. Today I have two boys, and I tell them, go secure the house. My older one will come and say, Papa, which one do I block? I have a balcony door, I have a front door, I have a back door, I have a sky roof, the touch points have increased in our lives. Today, I don't think we can minimize usage of touch points because we want speed. We want everything to be done like a lightning speed, for which we have become, if not anything else, slaves of technology to some extent. Probably I've seen many people have two mobiles. They have a tablet, they have this, they have that. Even while driving, they'll be punching something. We have started to adopt many gazillion touch points. Whether you call it as instrumentation, whether you call it as mobility, whether you call it as productivity devices, whatever could be the terminology for that. But we have increased the doors to our houses. We have exposed ourselves in our house with significant amount of touch points that we don't know how and when somebody can come inside and steal what we feel is very valuable to us. How do we do that? How do we really start to think, where do I start? And I thought I made an attempt here based on what I feel this industry will adapt going forward in the next couple years and decade, is we are all going paperless. I'm sure in this audience, probably less than 1% of you really use paper-based systems today. You're all one way or the other doing e-commerce, you're transacting your RTGS, you're sending your payments through NEFT, you're talking to people on WhatsApp, you're talking, I just saw a very fantastic video about digital marketing. I think digital has become a synonymous to our lifestyle today. There is nothing called anything today called my religion, my demographic, my region. It's all global. It's all digital. The same guys who are thinking we have to protect, we have to adapt, we have to relish our culture are started to look at can I have a pizza? Can I have a pasta? We are getting globalized for the right reasons, but the underlying philosophy of how do we really adapt it with the right sense of information security, with the right sense of what I call as resiliency to the business, lies with, if you understand, at least some of these target vectors. It's not that it's a very comprehensive thing, but just we need to be very clear about how do we embrace something new paradigm coming into our industry, which is called Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be either active participants or a passive participants in that Industry 4.0 adoption. But it is a very, very important aspect of understanding what are you exposing in Industry 4.0. If I go and I was hearing this, Sona College have started to look at Education 4.0. We are extremely good in adapting jargons. We are extremely good in talking about, everybody in this audience probably will not be surprised when I use the word IoT. Everybody talks about it. I mean, my dad is 86 years old. He talks about IoT today. He has not seen that industrial revolution of IoT. He's retired for last 20 years, 25, 30 years probably. But he understands these jargons. But real crux of it is, do we really understand in the context of our business? How do we really map the relevance of Industry 4.0 into that, whatever we call the value chain? Value chain players have to understand, what is my role? It's like transferring currency from Reserve Bank chest to a last mile ATM. If you think, if Reserve Bank takes care of the utmost security point of view and puts it in the best vehicle that it can transport, do you think the currency will be safe when it lands in ATM? Nope. There is a lot of value chain touch points. There is a van, there is an intermediate guy who counts it, there is an intermediate step that will get into the right loading of in the ATM. So in a value chain, that whichever component you would be participating in that value chain for your production manufacturing line, you have a role to protect your valuables there. It's not about, oh, I'm not the end customer, I'm not the end user, I don't do this. There is a very strong myth that I have started to see is, it doesn't apply to me. I think no, any new paradigm that I have seen in my little career of 25 years, if you are participant in that value chain, you have an onus and you have a responsibility, and you also carry significant amount of business failure risk if you don't protect your valuables. And Industry 4.0 is one such paradigm that I can spend a lot of time with each one of you if you are interested to demonstrate. There are multiple touch points that can expose your business confidentiality, your business models, your business valuable data and information that can put you down in your business path. The second very important is, we are all very fancy about adapting to environment. I'm pretty sure if I do an audit on each one of your mobile phones, you will at least have about 8 to 10 applications on your mobile phone. We are very, very adaptable. This time of the 21st century is, everybody wants to be considered to be, I'm modern, I am digitally acquainted personnel. I was just looking at some of the web applications when I used to work in other companies. Most vulnerable point is in the entire system that I have seen is ignorance. We are so ignorant of what are we trying to do with web applications. How many of us have not used logging into a Make My Trip, logging into an Amazon.com, logging into some aspect of our lifestyle, and we would have filled in something. In fact, I was just registering for a new Uber kind of thing in Malaysia last couple weeks back. And I was very surprised because they were asking me everything. In fact, if I were to look at what they were asking, I was very surprised. How does he care where I live? All he cares about is, do I have the ability and propensity to pay for his ride? It's called Grab Taxi. It's a Grab tool. They were asking my entire horoscope. Probably they would have asked me my star of birth as well if I had given an opportunity for them. For what? I think very important for us is to understand the data privacy aspect of life. And web applications are the most notorious touch point that we have in our life, where in the enthusiasm to be adapting certain aspects, we become and we surrender to those applications. So next time when you type in something on a web app, please think, am I giving the right information? Should I give the right information? Whether it's required or not. The last but not the very important aspect is the cyber espionage. Competition is watching you. If not, they can beat you down. They will try to capture you as a hostage of your IP. They will try to infringe your IP. They will try to get into what they call as, like my school teacher used to say, if you want to look tall, we are all youngsters, I was in my teens, my high school teacher used to say, if you want to look tall, grow tall. Don't pull somebody down and try to look tall. Very important aspect of our behavior has to be, how do you grow tall? How do you become not a victim of your competitor by ignoring your protecting your valuables? A lot of competitors might follow different, in my opinion, unethical practices. That is life. I mean, there are people we have heard about in our mythological stories. There was a Ravan and there was a Ram. There was a good guy, there was a bad guy. In this world, definitely there are enough people who are looking for cutting corners and trying to take shortcuts and trying to become successful. Do you want to be vulnerable for such and gullible for such people? Or are you capable of defining your own resilience into your systems? Your resilience, build your own protection mechanism in your systems. Then be very, very cognizant of cyber espionage. And I have seen most of the business competitive losses happen because of ignorance, and people become victims of cyber espionage. I think if I really continue on the same thread of looking at what is the motive? As somebody said, the biggest and the most important motive in this world is I want to be richer than someone. We don't realize there is a word called contentment, there is a word called satisfaction, there is a word called happiness and peace. We are all after chasing something that we don't know what we are till we probably breathe the last breath. But very important is, as you can see, considering each one of you are a business personnel, financial stability, financial growth, financial aspect of your business is a very important aspect of your business. And 68% of the breaches that we are watching in this newer digital world is pretty much financially motivated. Yes, we do see there could be some hacking done for some societal disruption. There may be some hacking happening for threat and all the wrong things in the world, distracting people. But trust me, at the end of the day, there is a financial motive between somebody accessing your information. It is just a matter of when, and it's not a matter of if. It is definitely important that we are cognizant of the fact that it is bound to happen that somebody is going to financially hold you hostage. If it has not happened till date, good luck, because it is going to bound to happen if you are ignorant and if you are not protecting your valuables. So when we started to look at that, very interestingly, I started to look at what does that mean? Somebody could come and tell me, and on the street say, hey, you talk security. You say cyber security. You say this is important, that is important, protect this, buy that product. Obviously, you'll all be hit by a lot of big guys to sell you something on the cyber technology. Very important is, what does it mean to you guys? What does that mean, cyber security in the context of manufacturing? I think we all recognize that something called jewel in our crown. Jewel is of any company is the data. But how do you know which data is important? How do you know what is the right level of lock you have to apply? There are many locks in the world available. In fact, I remember we used to buy Godrej, Navtal, 9 levers. Then somebody used to say that is the best lock. Nobody can have duplicate keys. Likewise, even in cyber security, there are many locks that are available that you can buy. Try to protect your environment. Try to protect your information database. But what is the right place to put that lock? One of the major challenges that the industry is going through is, yes, there are multiple lock providers. But where do you put that lock? Do you want to secure your jewel that is in your almirah and you lock the entire house? That's insane. You cannot assume that by locking my main door of the house, I'm protecting some tiny jewel that is in your almirah. You need to have the ability to identify what is my jewel, what is my real data. One of the very interesting challenges that any of these conventional industries have is identifying where do you put that lock. Trust me, there are dime a dozen locks available in this world. The beauty of that is, and the smartness lies in, where do you put that lock? Very important for us. Then there are a lot of aspects that you can start to look at it. Am I an outsourced design manufacturing house? Am I an original equipment manufacturer? Am I an ancillary unit for somebody else? You need to start to look at what is your core asset that you are trying to protect as an organization, as an entity, or as a business. There could be design documents, there could be product documentation, there could be production scheduling. In fact, one of the recent hacking that happened in one of the US manufacturing house was, and we all feel it's such a trivial thing. They had an automated, shift management system, where what is the most important thing in a shift management system? Is a clock. If you set the clock from 9 o'clock, that shift starts. If the clock hits the 6 o'clock, that shift stops. So one of the very interesting aspect was a clock. And it was reported recently that somebody manipulated the clock to set it to 6 o'clock when it was 2:30 in the afternoon. The entire shop floor was brought to the halt with all the great robotics, which all have intelligent brains in themselves. They were all waiting for a trigger to stop the shift. And the most simplest thing was to manage that clock to set it to 6 o'clock. All the hacker had done was reset the clock to a shift level. They brought down the entire line, and the company said in Cincinnati that they lost close to a couple $1 million of production. Do you want to be one of those victims where such a simple thing that you might have with the enthusiasm of adapting technology, that somebody just comes and resets your clock? You lose millions of dollars. How can you even envisage? In the conventional manufacturing line, there will be 2 shift managers, there will be 3 people who will say, no, it's still 2 more minutes there, still 5 more minutes. We were relying on certain things called as our individual judgment. Now that we have transformed ourselves to be technology adapters, now that we have transformed ourselves to be digital players in the digital world, we need to be cognizant of what are those critical elements that I have to protect. Just the clock. So it could be anything. Very important is data manipulation. Data in this case was a time. It could be your financials. It could be, very interestingly, how do you put this thing? So very interestingly, I always get this time up when I'm on the last slide, which is very interesting. So what I want to talk about is, why cybersecurity is critical. Start to look at your peers. Start to look at who else have adapted and protected your environment. Who else have protected your environment better? What are they saying? See whether you can learn from others. We all are good people when we learn from others. What I would like to conclude is, securing your business is the only way we can secure your future. In order to ensure that you have a longevity in your business that all of us aspire for, please secure your future with SecureX. If you are interested, we are more than happy to walk you through what we do, how we protect yourself, and we'll be very happy in the booths in D02 to help you understand how do you start. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. A very fair and abstract perspective on cybersecurity we have heard today in the conclave. I request Mr. M. Kandaswamy, past President Codicea, to honor Mr. Sunil Bangalore, President.
It's time for the memento. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to move into quickly one of our sponsors today. We would like to thank Yes Bank for being the bank solution partner at GMCV 2030. We're moving into a visual interlude from Yes Bank.
Sir, एक businessman होने के असल मायने क्या है?
देखिए, मेरे हिसाब से तो पेशेंस बहुत जरूरी है. जिसमें पेशेंस नहीं है वो बिजनेस तो नहीं कर सकता. अब मुझसे तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने कहा कि भाई क्यों करना है अपना बिजनेस, बहुत रिस्क है, मार्जिन्स बहुत कम हैं. लेकिन मैं तो एक ही बात कहता था कि अगर ऊपर जाना है तो सीढ़ी तो चढ़नी होगी.
मेरी दादी हमेशा कहती थी कि बेटा तू मेहनत कर, बाकी सब हो जाएगा. और मैं सोचता था कि कैसे होगा, पर बिजनेसमैन का मतलब ही ये है कि कैसे होगा को ऐसे होगा में कन्वर्ट करना.
एक बिजनेस करने के लिए शार्प और कॉन्फिडेंट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अपना मोटिवेशन ही है जो आपको ड्राइव करता है और आपके जो आसपास हैं उन सबको ड्राइव करता है. मैं खुश हो जाऊं तो सब खुश.
कोई ऐसा ब्रह्मास्त्र जो आपके बिजनेस को अगले मुकाम तक ले जाए?
कौन नहीं चाहता अपनी बिजनेस बढ़ाने. बात आके सिक्योरिटी पे अटक जाती है. अगर कम वैल्यू की प्रॉपर्टी पे ज्यादा लोन मिल जाए तब तो मजा आ जाए.
बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस सेल्स भी अच्छी हैं और मार्केट भी काफ़ी अच्छा है, पर कभी कभी बस थोड़ा प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी ऐसा लगता है कि और होता तो अच्छा हो जाता. इसलिए अगर गवर्नमेंट कोई ऐसी स्कीम ले आए जिसमें 1-2 करोड़ का कोई लोन आसानी से मिल जाए तो मैं एक और यूनिट लगा दूँ.
अगर बगैर सिक्योरिटी के लोन मिल जाए तो शायद धीरे धीरे ये फैक्ट्री मेरी हो जाए.
ये
आपका ब्रह्मास्त्र,
कोलेटरल फ्री लोन.
यार आपने तो मेरे दिल की इच्छा पूरी कर दी.
जब बैंक और गवर्नमेंट CGT, MSC जैसी स्कीम्स लेके आते हैं तो वाकई लगता है कि इंडिया इज अ लैंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज।
आपकी बैंक आप पे भरोसा करे, इससे बेहतर और क्या हो सकता है।
दिवाली पे चॉकलेट कौन देता है? एक भी मिठाई नहीं है। हलवाई गायब हो गए हैं क्या?
चेक दैट वन। शायद गौरव ने लड्डूस भेजे।
कहाँ हैं?
राइट हियर स्वीटहार्ट। मैं तुम्हें खिलाता हूँ, ट्राई करो।
हलवाई सही में गायब हो गए हैं।
इतना बुरा भी नहीं था यार, कम ऑन।
यू नो, मम्मी जब बेसन के लड्डू बनाती थी ना, तो पूरा घर देसी घी की खुशबू से महक जाता था। आई रियली मिस हर लड्डूस यार।
तो फिर चलो।
कहाँ?
मम्मी के घर लड्डू खाने।
अभी?
हाँ, तुम्हें याद है चिक्की खाने के लिए हम कितनी बार लॉन्ग रोमांटिक ड्राइव्स पे जाया करते थे।
तब तुम और तुम्हारी गाड़ी दोनों यंग हुआ करते थे। प्रेगनेंसी में बिना सस्पेंशन वाली एडवेंचर ड्राइव, सॉरी, नॉट पॉसिबल।
हेलो यश, वॉच योर स्टेप। आगे चलो, आगे चलो। रुको 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 रुको। रेडी?
हाँ बाबा।
टाडा।
शांतनु, ये क्या है?
ये दिवाली तो हम लड्डू और लॉन्ग ड्राइव के साथ ही मनाएंगे। हाँ?
Sir, the all-new Jeep Compass Limited Plus has electronic sitting, जो आपकी फेवरेट सिटिंग पोजीशन को याद रखता है, और मैम कंप्लीट सनरूफ, जो आपको हमेशा फ्रेश फील कराएगा।
तो फिर यस कर दूं? हाँ?
पर अभी कैसे?
यस बैंक है ना, 1 मिनट में आपकी लोन एप्लीकेशन एम पावर बॉट से प्रोसेस कर देते हैं विथ 100% ऑन रोड फंडिंग। आप बस अपनी ड्राइव प्लान करिए, बाकी हम देख लेंगे। कांग्रेचुलेशन सर।
मम्मी, आपके लड्डू ना दिवाली बम्पर धमाका है। पूछो कैसे? कैसे? एक लड्डू मांगने पर जीप फ्री मिलती है।
इस त्योहार घर लाए नई खुशियाँ यस बैंक और जीप के साथ। करिए ईएमआई का डाउनग्रेड और खुशियों का अपग्रेड।
Thank you so much, Yes Bank, for being our banking partners. We now call upon Mr. E.K. Ponnusamy, past President Codicea, to present a memento to Mr. Rajan Ramesh from Yes Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Gentlemen, if you please come on stage, please. For record, just to let you know, 69 supporting partners have come forward at GMCV 2030, and it's a very proud moment. As he receives the memento, we would like to thank Yes Bank for being partnering with us at GMCV 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, please. We're moments away from a very, very special occasion. We are moments away from honoring our pillars of Codicea. There'll be more.
This evening is getting very heavy with a lot of insights from all our industry experts. Let's hear from our chairman, Codicea Golden Jubilee commemorative celebration about Codicia's Golden Jubilee commemorative lectures. Let's welcome Mr. R. Palnisamy, CEO Rangasai Alloy Castings, on stage. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Texas Ventures. We started this GMC 2030 around 5 o'clock. Now it is 8:30. We had about 6 to 7 presentations. And from this moment onwards, no presentation. You can relax. So we are not going to discuss anything about robots or manufacturing, this, that, and all. Now this platform is meant for Codicea now. Being the Golden Jubilee year,
what is that Odisha has done. Of course, you have seen a video presentation, and how Odisha is celebrating its Golden Jubilee. That's one thing. Then what were the celebrations? The celebrations can be in many ways. One thing, throughout the year, we have to keep in the minds of the people, yes, Odisha is celebrating its Golden Jubilee. It is the 50th year they are celebrating. Already a lot of milestones were there in the history of Odisha. Now, after so many milestones, what is that it is going to do in the coming years? How Odisha has planned the Golden Jubilee. Say, actually, the Golden Jubilee celebrations was inaugurated by Honorable Governor in the last year in the month of October. Subsequently, we planned lectures every month. And what is the purpose of this type of conferences? Are bringing some experts from different fields. And what is the use it is going to be the visitors, or what is that going to be the listeners? We are able to come across with different sections of the people, with different knowledges. During the networking, each and every one of the entrepreneur, they had an opportunity to meet and discuss and exchange with one of them or not, so that they gain their knowledge. They know something about whatever the field it may be in the process of manufacturing a product or not. That way, we started this exercise of bringing experts. Actually, we thought, being Odisha is meant for MSMEs. Whatever the lecture programs organized in the Golden Jubilee year, it should benefit the entrepreneur. Maybe micro, maybe small, or maybe medium. That way we thought, who should be the speakers? We thought 1 minute, and we decided, let us try to bring some of the stalwarts who started their business with mere 10,000, 20,000, 15,000 rupees, and now they are making about 3,000 crores and 4,000 crores. So during the course of their journey of that last 15 years, 20 years, whatever the challenges they have faced, right from HR, or production, or planning, or marketing, finance, investment, etc., etc. That way, we thought, okay, we will select some of the top speakers who did their best in their life as an entrepreneur. That way, the first one we went, we invited, and we want to invite some of the stalwarts of CMDs. One thing they asked, what is going to be the, how many are going to present for that meetings? Normally, organizing a meeting is not a problem. Getting a speaker is not a problem. Getting a venue is not a problem. When we are getting a top speaker, it is very difficult to get audience to that number. We were a little bit confused. What number of audience we can commit to that speaker? We said, okay, somewhere around 200, definitely the entrepreneurs of Odisha or the entrepreneurs of this part of the district will come. To our surprise, the first meeting we organized, Focus and Prosperity, where an entrepreneur should focus by himself so that he can have the prosperity in his life as an entrepreneur. We got Dr. Velumani, the creator and MD of Thyrocare. To our surprise, we sent invitations to all the Odishians. Not only that, we made an ad in the local dailies. We could see large number of public also participated. Against our commitment of around 200, we could see 300 plus on that day. It was so purposeful. They had a very good interaction. That Thyrocare creator started his business with merely about 10,000, 15,000, and he is doing about 4,000 crores of turnover as on date now. After talking about the focus and prosperity, then we thought, Why not we bring somebody of the similar nature? He had only school education. Even after 10th or 12th, he left the school and he started his business. Whatever the funds, he got it from the family of about 20,000. Then, in the present day, he is doing a turnover of 4,000 crores. He is none other than Kevin Care MD, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan. He posed a different question. Why small companies remain small? After hearing the focus on prosperity, a question set up by him, why small companies remain small? Many times we were discussing in Rhodesia, how many micro or small companies have improved their investment, they went to medium scale. Very rare to see. Say, this question was raised by Mr. CKR, and the entrepreneurs who participated on that day definitely learnt a lot. After that, the third one, doing a business. Everybody wants to be success in their business or entrepreneurship. We would like to know something about. Then, one topic we have selected, success mantras. He is none other than Idayam Mr. Muthu, the CMD of VVS Oil Group. Followed by him, we would like to invite one Hudson Group. I think many of you know to what extent Hudson Group, Mr. R.G. Chandramohan was there about 20 years before, and to what extent he is doing business. He is doing a roaring business throughout the country and internationally more than 5,000 crores now. So that way, he gave a topic, differentiation that made the difference. Mathiyosi. That's what he selected the topic. Say, every time when we are hearing from the learned entrepreneurs, our thinking was different. We learnt a lot. So totally then we thought, okay, many times, many of the, particularly the micro or small industries, we are getting loan from the banks. Many times, we are not able to put it in the right sense. Sometimes we are doing a mistake also. Then we thought, one program, Mudalitu Paramapadam. Many of you have seen where the snake and ladder. Say, similarly, the investment made by an entrepreneur, if it is wrongly used, like an investment, investing on jewels, or lavishly spending for a marriage, which he has taken into the bank for running the industry. In that case, the snake bite, he will come to zero. At the same time, in the snake and ladder, the same entrepreneur, if is able to reduce the inventory and get the interest or to the bank is reduced, okay, he is climbing a ladder. Like that, we invited 3 of our business entrepreneurs from Coimbatore itself. And we were discussing about this. Whenever the investment is made, where to made, how to made, why to made, and where are we doing the mistake. Say, that way, we had a lot of interactions on those days. Subsequently, at that time, because of every month we are organizing as a commemorative lectures, the word spread like anything. All the speakers are all really sharing their experiences. That is going to be a beneficial for all the micro and small entrepreneurs. The attendance went up to 350, 400, 450. The last one, we brought a star from Vijay TV. Of course, you might have seen that Niya Nayana Gopinath. So after hearing all this right from the word of prosperity, focus, this, that and all, then the topic we have said, we heard enough. It is already half of the year we have spent. Then topic we have said, Seragai Viri, Oyarappara. Spread the wings and start flying. That is the word we have taken, that is the title we have given, and it went on very well. That's what it has done about the commemorative up to this month. Then subsequently, what is that we are going to do in the coming months? Many of you have heard about Mumbai Dabbawalas. Say, Mumbai Dabbawalas, they are organizing the meetings, and to share the secret of the exemplary performance of the Mumbai Dabbawalas for the benefit of the member organization. They can try to replicate the same in the business, whatever it is appropriate for them. There is a study, Mumbai Dabbawalas for their exemplary performance, categorized by the low defects. Say the industries are all talking about percentage of defects. Now off late we went to PPM. So as per the Forbes magazine reported, the defect level exactly as per Sigma, it should be 3.45 ppm. But as per the Forbes magazine, the Mumbai Dabbawalas defect rate is 1 per 8 million. That is 0.125. So how they are able to get the defect reduced? Why they are doing like that? Without knowing what is that they are doing, the management principles are applied. We will be getting them. This is the first time they are coming to this part of this country, and they are going to address us about the defect level, how the Mumbai Dabbawalas are doing, and what is their performance rating, to what extent they have improved, without knowing what is what. So that way, Odisha would like to bring it to the entrepreneurs of this part, to what extent this defect level can be reduced. One is that Mumbai Dabbawalas. After hearing all these lectures, okay, it is going to be there till November of this year. During our discussions, we came to know from UNIDO that in the UNIDO normally is giving $50,000 for the innovations. 100 innovations every year, the UNIDO is giving $50,000 for the innovations on energy management, green energy, energy conservation, like that. So for the year 2000, in the last year, 2018 and 19, about 387 only applied from India, out of which the expert committee of 3 juries, they have selected only 37 innovations, out of which the juries again selected commercial viable, only 13. Those 13 got $50,000. Say throughout the country, UNIDO is prepared to give $50,000 to the innovators for the best innovation, but in the country of India, it is only 13 commercial. Based on this, we thought, as Odisha, doing its Golden Jubilee year, why not we do these innovations and inventions? We are organizing a fair to commemorate the Golden Jubilee, the National Science and Technology Fair in the month of August between 29th to 31st. It is for the whole country, for the schools and colleges, for the innovations and inventions, and it is going to be the CSR activity of this Odisha. We will be spending about nearly 1 crore for that exhibition itself. There's going to be a college students and school students will be given there. We will be giving cash awards for them. For the colleges, 50,000, 40,000 and 30,000. For the schools, it is going to be 25,000, 20,000 and 15,000. That's what we are planning to bring, to exploit the innovations or inventions. See, and every day, every hour, some part of the country, ideas, inventions, innovations are coming. Unfortunately, it is not being recognized. No platform is available. Yes, Odisha is here to recognize such of those inventions and innovations. We want to improve, we want to encourage, we want to motivate all the inventions innovated right from the school days. That's what one of these things what we have in our mind. It's being organized in the month of August 29 to 31st, and many more events is going to come as a part of the Odisha Golden Jubilee celebration. Thanks to Texas Ventures for giving an opportunity to share what Odisha is doing as a part of commemorative the Golden Jubilee. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. R. Palanisamy. Ladies and gentlemen, this was very specifically on Golden Jubilee's commemorative lectures. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moments away from honoring our pillars of Codicea, the past presidents. But before that, we now invite Mr. Sundar, Managing Director, Sundar Enterprises. He's the immediate past president of Codicea, to talk about a very, very dynamic evolution, Codicea's evolution from 1969 to 2000. Can we have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? He's our immediate past president.
Distinguished guests, invitees, management of Texas Ventures, Codicea members and office bearers, exhibitors of Intech 2019, press and media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I hope I wouldn't get this paper because I'm going to cut short my time. I could see everybody a bit hungry. So the problem with today's speech was, I just prepared a lot of pages. When I came here, what happened was, I didn't know that they're going to play the Golden Jubilee video here, because that was not in the agenda. When they played the video, almost whatever I had prepared was already being declared here. So I just said, I have nothing to speak, but still, it's my responsibility. I have to talk about how the evolution of Codicea started. I'll just make it as short as possible. In 1969, about 10 to 20 members wanted to start an association because they had a lot of difficulties in running their companies. They didn't know how to get a bank loan and what were the procedures to start business and things like that. So those days, they approached one of the eminent industrialists, everybody knows, Shri G.D. Naidu, and they just asked for his opinion. And that's when he said, 20 members are not sufficient. You come with 100 members, then I'll give you a space free of rent, and you can operate. And that's how they took some more time to get about 100 people. When they got back to him again, he gave them a space at the President Hall, and that was the first office for Codicea. And what Codicea did afterwards was, they had a lot of problems with the taxation, like sales tax, central excise problems, and there was a huge demand for coke, coal, and all these things. So all those things were organized. They were able to reach the state and central governments quite easily through the association, and that's how they got things done. And at this juncture, they thought of starting a small exhibition where they could exhibit the products of the members of the company, and this was called the Index 82. This was in 1982. The Index exhibition was displayed in President Hall, and it had a very good response. So a lot of new entrepreneurs were coming and looking at all these products, and that's when the stalwarts were sitting here. They decided, why not we have a bigger exhibition, and we will invite everybody from all over the country to exhibit their products. And this happened in 1988, and they had approached the PSG family, and the then trustee, Mr. G. Varadarajulu, was kind enough. He accepted this idea, and it was rightly put in time by Mr. Shia Swaminathan. So they accepted to give the premises at free of cost, and that's how the first exhibition started. And you won't believe, even during the first exhibition, they had applied for a temporary power connection of around 700 kilowatts. They had 300 exhibitors, and that is when a lot of new companies started emerging in Coimbatore. Those people who were employed in different companies like turners or millers or grinders, they were able to understand that the cost of the machine is this, and this is where you can get the machine, things like that. And then slowly they all started becoming entrepreneurs. So that is how it started. Then they decided to have once in 3 years, and that was in 88, 91, 94, and 97. And in the meanwhile, they wanted an office, permanent office, because though G.D. Naidu had given them a free premises, but still they thought, okay, it would be better to have their own office. But they didn't have money. But some contributors were kind enough to even donate some money, and it was the members' money, and few of the past presidents also had given some money. And that's how they bought a small land, which was in the Husur Road, which is just near to Anna statue, and that is where the Codicea office is there. And for a long time, this land was just lying idle. And in the meanwhile, they were able to get some surplus funds through the Intech exhibitions, 4 editions. So then immediately, within 2 years, they built the office building. Then the office building was ready. And giving this office building as a collateral, and they also bought some lands, and that is the Codicia Trade Fair Complex. And it never had even a road to go there, but these people had to go on foot and find out these places, get all the landowners there, and altogether they bought about 40 and odd acres. And that's how the complex started, and then they had applied for a loan through SIDBI, and it was about, those days it was about 8 crores. And they didn't get the loan, it was getting delayed, and that is when some of the contribution, like people like LG Varadaraj from LG Equipments, and one Mr. Vivekanandan from Tirupur, all of them gave money free of interest. And even the members, those office bearers during that time, they contributed some money from their pocket. They started the work didn't get stopped. And finally, they got the loan, and then they were able to repay the borrowings. And that's how the complex started. So this was the A, B, C, and halls. And in 2007, the loans were completed, and that is when, again, they went for a loan for about 15 crores. And the D, E, and the food court all started. Because they wanted these halls, because one long hall, 1 lakh square foot, they were not able to sell. So they wanted smaller halls, and that's when the D, E, and the food court all came up. And still, they had struggling to complete it, but fortunately, the Semoli Manad, when it came, we had some grants from the government, and that's when, we were able to complete the whole landscaping and things like that. That is how this trade fair complex emerged. Now, this is about the past. Now, I would like to just say what is happening right now. I would also, this credit goes to Codicia senior members and industrialists of Coimbatore. Though the following list is not exhaustive, I would name a few because it's my responsibility to name these people who contributed to this Codicia was Sri G.D. Naidu, Sri G. Varadaraj, Sri D. Jayavardhanvel, Sri Ramasamy of Suguna Group, Sri L.G. Varadaraj of LG Equipment, and Sri C.R. Swaminathan. In a short while from now, you would see all those senior members on stage while they are being honored, though I love to mention each one of them by their name, as most of them are present here, but due to time constraints, I reserve that to the next agenda of the program. Now, talking about the present, as all of you all know about this defense corridor coming up, and the first what we wanted to bring out is the incubation center, because the problem was we small-scale industries, we are not able to scale up our business. So even maybe the next generation, when they come into the business, we are unable to nurture them, since we are already tight with the marketing and things like that. And that is when we wanted to start an incubation center, and that's when we approached Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman when she was Industries and Commerce Minister. And we just said, that our next generation have to be put in the incubation center, and then we'll give them the ideas. Once they graduate out of the incubation center, either we will absorb or let some venture capitalists or angel investors absorb them and let them invest equities into that. And that is when Madam said it's an excellent idea, and they asked us to apply for the incubation center, and we had applied for the incubation center. And meanwhile, when she liked this idea, she said, why not all the startups, startups like MSME startups can come and work for the defense. So that's when they said, we will fund you with about 20 crores, and then you start up an innovation center. Because if you see, there are 110,000 products which are being imported for the defense purpose. And out of which, they just showed us about 210 products from different DPSUs, and we have selected 50 products for immediate indigenization. And this would be, they have also given us a target that in the next 4 years, we have to indigenize 50 products. And this is going to be, once we indigenize this product, when the process, everything is ready, we would match it with any of the MSMEs who are capable. Any one of you can come and take up the product and start supplying to the defense. So this is one area, and my friend Toby is here. See, we are very much interested to get into the aerospace because that is going to be the real future business, but in Coimbatore, but for few companies, we do not know what aerospace is. And he's been into aerospace for so many years, and last time when we all went to visit his factory at the facility in Bangalore where they do, components for Boeings and all that, first thing what he said is, I love Coimbatore, and that's what he had been telling you on the stage also. He said, I love Coimbatore, I want to do something to Coimbatore, and he said, it's always in my karma that I have to come to Coimbatore. Am I right, Toby? Yeah. And that's when he said, you start something, you start a skill development center in Coimbatore, and I'll be the first to do, give you all the training, all the skills required. That's what he has promised. And even now, just few minutes before when I was talking to him, he said, you get the land ready, you get the things, infrastructure ready, and we will start doing the skill development here. And we are looking at the very big project, the AMCA project, that has to be done because already Toby has got lands near Sulur, and most probably I think he's going to give these lands to the government and he clearly said, I would give this land only for the manufacture of defense and nothing else. And once he gives the land, I think the AMCA and then Anatov from Russia, all those people are going to come here. And then now we'll have to start thinking of aerospace. Aerospace is going to be the biggest business. And that is what now Codicea also is trying to support everybody to get into aero business. But, it doesn't happen all in, a short while. It may take even 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. But once we get into this business, I think whatever time we are going to spend for these 10 years, it's going to earn us after 10 years. So thank you so much for your time. Have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. V. Sundaram, immediate past president at Codicea. You've given us milestones, you've given us a walk down memory lane, but you've also given us vision to look forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the moment that we were talking about where we need to honor our founding president and past president. GMCV 2030 and Texas Ventures go long back, I believe 15 years of association. And it's my privilege to welcome on stage Director Projects at Texas Ventures, DK Karthikeyan, who's going to come. And may I ask him to do the honors? Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask DK Karthikeyan to do the honors? Can we have a big round of applause? He's been the energy behind putting this event together.
Dear guests, dear chief guest of the evening, guest of honors. Hello. Chief guest of honor of the evening. It's a big privilege for Texas Ventures to honor our founder president and past president at GMCV 2030. Codicea works to protect the interest of small manufacturers is held in high esteem. Felicitation, we want to tell our founder and past presidents that you are legends still live now. I invite Padma Shri M.K. Narayanan. Also invite Dr. Udyant Malhotra. Also invite the current president of Codicea. And we will shortly start the honoring function now.
Thank you so much, Karthikeyan. Without further ado, you said it rightly, the legend still lives on. Codicea today is a fine example what an association in any sector should set out to do. We're truly honored by the presence of founder president and past president of Codicea, and this is a special moment that we promised you about. We're very, very grateful on behalf of Texas Ventures in Tech 2019 and also Codicea. Very grateful for having every one of them here today. Right. Somewhere at heart, the experts who ran the Association of the Years loved and celebrated the machines which helped them progress. And we owe a deep gratitude. In fact, we are honoring ourselves by honoring them today.
In this 50th year of Codicea, we're celebrating the success of each and every Codician and honoring the leadership quality, aspiration, enthusiasm, dedication, and commitment, and definitely not without the hard work of the presidents, the past presidents of Codicia and Cointech. Ladies and gentlemen, this is that moment to honor the founder president, Mr. S. Jagadisson, on stage. Sir, we request you. This is your moment. I request every single person present in this room to give the biggest round of applause to our founder president, Codicia. Keep it going. Those steps were always there. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen.
We've always said this. Codicia's what today it is, it's because of the vision that the past president we had. May I request if somebody can actually place a chair on the stage? Thank you. Yes, I think we can. Maybe on to the corner, Naveen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is special. Come on, everybody. Founder President Codicia. He looks back, and I'm sure he's looking back with a lot of pride. And requesting Udit Malhotra to do the honors of taking a shawl around us, one of the founder president. This is a special moment.
I request Padma Shri M.K. Narayanan to present him with a memento. Thank you so much. I request the gentlemen to continue to stay on the stage. It's time to honor Dr. K. Kasturi Rangayan. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. K. Kasturi Rangayan, past President Codicia.
This is a special moment we always waited for. We wanted to honor the founding president and also the past president. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dr. K. Kasturi Rangayan on stage for us. It's indeed a pleasure to facilitate you, sir.
These are the moments we look back with all the gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, please. I know the evening is short, but let's make it happen for them, memorable for them. Remember, Codicia had very modest beginning way back in 1969. We just heard the immediate past president talking us about it. This is special. Ladies and gentlemen, big applause, please. Thank you. I request all past presidents, please be with us on stage because we would like to have a group photo.
I now request Mr. V. Jagannathan to please come up on the stage. Past President Codicia, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, sir.
It's the work and the mission and the vision that has carried Codicia for such a long time. 50 Golden Jubilee. And it's an honor at GMCV 2030 that we're honoring them today. Once again, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. From the very modest beginnings that we've always spoken about.
Thank you, gentlemen. I now request Mr. P.N. Balasubramanian, sir, to join us on stage. This is your moment, sir.
Thank you very, very much for joining us here. I really would like to thank all our past presidents for joining us here today with us. This is their special moment. They always thought of the entire MSME as extended family. Come on, everybody, let's give them a big round of applause.
Thank you, gentlemen. I request Mr. K.V. Ganapathy to please join us on stage, sir.
One of the former past presidents of Codicea, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Mr. K.V. Ganapathy. You ask all the MSMEs, they will tell you how Codicea supported them and to withstand against the competition that is always there. It nurtured them, it fought for their rights, it fought for their interests. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause, please. Come on, everybody, let's give a big round of applause.
I now request Mr. V. Sundarrajulu to please join us on stage, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us with a big round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, he was a very tall past president, isn't it? With all the past presidents coming here, this is a special moment. The benchmark only moved up every year. Loud applause, ladies and gentlemen. Just few more to be given out now.
Next, I request Mr. J. Balu to join us on stage, sir. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
All the president came with the insight and the vision saying that we got to do something for the MSME. And they did make everyone proud and did it well. As the shawl is being given around as a mark of facilitation, and Mr. K. Naran hands over the memento. This is a very, very important president. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I request you? Thank you for staying with us here today.
I now request Mr. C. Muthuswamy to please join us on stage, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. C. Muthuswamy, past President Codicea.
As I said, when it's competitive, you always have to leave a mark. And each of the past presidents have left a mark with the plans and all the efforts and all the plans and strategies that left for Codicea. As Mr. Muthuswamy is facilitated here today, it is a special moment for all of us.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Mr. M. Kandaswamy to please join us on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Put your
come on,
hands together.
round of applause. Every initiative of Codicea has always brought in a lot of results. And every bit of the success that we have today, 50 golden jubilee years to Codicea. Take a bow. It's their milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause, please. We still got two more past presidents to join us on stage.
I now request Mr. E.K. Ponnuswamy to please join us on stage, sir.
Every past president came with their plans, with their visions on what more we can do for the MSME. Remember, they had to fight against economic downturns, and they've done it well. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. Let's put your hands together. I know it's been a long one. This moment is special. This moment is what we always wait. This moment is a privilege for all of us.
Is is now time to honor Mr. V. Sundaram, our immediate past president of Codicia.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who taken a lot of initiative and he has left the baton to the current section. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause as Mr. V. Sundaram comes on stage.
There's some debate going on there.
We had a very tall immediate past president.
Codicia, take a bow. I now request Mr. R. Palliswamy from a past president Coimbatore to please join us on stage, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
I know it's been a one long day. What an insightful time that we've had. And as we're honoring Mr. R. Palliswamy, past president of Coimbatore, thank you so much for taking our invitation.
So as our photographers and the videographers take a panoramic view of the stage, let's all stand up with a standing ovation for these
Ladies and gentlemen,
amazing
can
men
we all
of
stand
honor
up and give them a big
for
standing
Codicia.
ovation? Come on, everybody. I request all the past presidents, if you could just stand up and stand for the photographs, please. If you could stand up and stand for the photographs, please. I request our founding president also, if you could join, somebody can help him as well, to join us on a quick photograph. I request our founding president, Mr. S. Jagdishan, to also join us on the photograph. This is special. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Put your hands together for our founding president, our past president, the men who mattered to take it forward here.
It's 50 years and many more to go.
It's been one of those moments that we always waited for. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, can we have a big round of applause for our past president and founding president? On stage, this is a moment for them. May I request you, if you want, you can take your seats. You can take your seats and be seated. You can be seated because quickly we're going to be rolling into a vote of thanks. Wow, I've never seen so many past presidents at such a big photograph. Maybe it's time. Wow, this is special. I know I've asked for so many applause today, but our past president and founding president deserve a better applause. Come on, everybody, clap your hands. Give them all the facilitation that you can give. It's been brilliant for them. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on stage.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. You indeed have been men of honor for us.
I quickly request Honorable Secretary of Codicia, Mr. P.S. Devaraj, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to state the formation of Codicia. Myself and my friend Dr. Balakrishnan, we were returned from Germany and we attended immediately after return, attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and then we came out and we thought, why not we have a small scale industry association? So we decided to form an association and we collected some friends. At that time, initially, some 7 people joined together. I will name them. none of them are alive now, excluding myself. Jagadisan, that is myself. Saraj Charavel of Revati Machinery Traders, S. Balakrishnan of Alltech Industries, R. Sandhanam of Fine Products, K.V. Raman of Skins and Leathers, P. Venugopal of Prakash Engineering, R. Krishnananda of EMS Radio Factory. These are the 7 people we joined together and registered this association, and we ourselves nominated about 15 members for running the initial operations, and decided to have election after 1 year collecting members. So that is how these 7 people helped to form the association. That I wanted to remember now, because none of them are alive, excepting myself, are alive. Thank you.
This is a special moment when our founding president addresses us. We always go back to our calling.
Thank you, Founder President, for your great blessings for Codicea. And we are all very glad that you are here on this day. And we all, along with all the past presidents, it's a privilege for me to honor you all for this Golden Jubilee year. And I think Codicea will gain more and more strength. And our motto, teamwork always succeeds. We will succeed, and we will develop micro, small and medium industries to the next level, and we'll be in the world none other than any association, and our member industries will also grow. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you very, very much. This is a special moment. Now it's Ms. P. Devaraj, give a word of thanks.
Request. And efforts taken by them to attend this event. Thank you, sirs, once again. All of your inspiring addresses have shared a lot of intellectual and substances to our event. The response to our call has been so overwhelming by the participation of our respected delegates. We hope that the topics elucidated and discussed was informative and thought-provoking. We owe a big thanks to you as well. We thank all the 69 leading manufacturer associations, industrial associations, management associations, Chamber of Commerce, and industries across India for extending their support to this conference. We also thank the conference partners and sponsors. I thank the press fraternity from various media houses for their coverage of this event. Your support in creating awareness among the public about the profile of this event is well appreciated. I thank the press fraternity from various. I thank the anchor, Mr. Solomon, Mr. Kirtana, for excellent handling of the MC's desk. Last but not the least, I thank Mr. D.K. Karthikeyan and his member teams from Texas Venture for successfully scripting this event. And 9th in a row, I also thank Coimbatore operational team from Texas Venture for executing the event to a plan and making this an extraordinary occasion. Before I conclude, I thank everyone else who have contributed to the success of this event. Thank you all.
Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice of you to have taken the entire gambit. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moments away from calling for dinner. D. Karthikeyan, I'm looking